Ready. Hello and welcome to southwestern Germany and to the city of Karlsruhe for the second stop on the 2019 IAAF World Indoor Tour. The stars are phoning in from across Europe, the Americas and Africa as the excitement of World Championship year builds. A very warm welcome to the Messehalle here in Karlsruhe and the second stop of the IAAF World Indoor Tour. We have a sold-out crowd of 5,000. This meeting has been sold out since before Christmas, and they've come to see some of the stars from around the world. They've come from far, they've come from near. Had a fantastic group of local supporters who've been providing plenty of volume in the early stages of our meet here in Karlsruhe. We have an exciting programme over the next couple of hours for you, coming to you live via the IAAF YouTube channel and social media channels. As are the next couple of meetings, of course, we're with Torun as well, as we see some of the athletes who have been gracing the track and field. The performances we'll be reflecting on over the course of the next couple of hours. So we'll give you an idea of what's coming up over the course of those 2 hours or so. Lots of action across the track and the field. Daphne Skippers, we're looking forward to seeing her later on competing in the women's 60 metres. Vital IAAF World Indoor points up for grabs, of course. Just a few minutes' time, we'll see Skippers in those couple of heats of the women's 60 metres. Then one of the stars of athletics currently, Juan Miguel Echeverria. Just before 1940, we'll see him unveiled to the crowd here. Then we move on to the 800 metres men. One or two non-scoring events on the tour involved in the programme as well here in Karlsruhe. 60-metre hurdles women's final. We'll have some local interest for Cindy Rohleder. Then a fascinating 3,000 metres coming towards the end of the programme as well. The men's 400 with the likes of Pavel Mazlak, Legelin Santos, Oscar Hosios as well. So plenty to look forward to. It'll be closed with the men's 800 metres wheelchair event just before, or just after 2100 hours. So one event that is complete already today is the women's triple jump. This is what happened. Slight surprise, really, because the world champion indoors and out, Julimar Rojas of Venezuela, relegated into second position. She was a late addition to the field, actually. 14:45. She had a couple of fouls in the early stages, which just upset her rhythm slightly, but victory went to the world indoor bronze medalist Ana Pelletero with a lifetime best of 14 metres 51, and Patricia Mamona of Portugal in third position with 14:36, which equalled her own national record set in 2014, as well as that lifetime best. Germany favourite Kiri Girish just finishing outside the top three positions there. So we see the winner of our triple jump competition, Ana Pelletero, taking the applause of the crowd. Oh, there go the flowers. Fine performance. One or two of the triple jumpers just struggling for a bit of rhythm. There were a few fouls and a few red flags, but Pelletero did enough to take victory. Good scalp as well in the form of Rojas by 6 centimetres. So, of course, the athletes got their a lot of them got their indoor season underway in Boston last weekend. That was the first leg of the IAAF World Indoor Tour. We move on to Torun on Wednesday in Poland, then to Madrid and to Birmingham, and then back here to Germany for the final event in Düsseldorf. 6 events in total for this, the 4th edition of the IAAF World Indoor Tour. Of course, overall, the one prize that everybody is competing for is a wild card to next year's World Indoor Championships in Nanjing in China. There's a small matter of a $20,000 bonus as well for the overall title winners, $3,000 for event winners on the day today. And of course, for those not familiar with the IAAF World Indoor Tour, there are 11 tour disciplines overall. And they reverse those that were in the tour last year are the non-scoring events this year, and vice versa. We have 8 scoring events here in action this evening, as well as 3 not exhibition events but non-scoring events, because they're all vital parts of athletes' preparations for the forthcoming European Indoor Championships in Glasgow, of course, and for those looking further afield to the IAAF World Championships in Doha as we move into September and October. We're delighted, alongside myself, Chris Temple, to have someone who knows the indoor circuit very well and knows it at the top level of the global game as well. European Indoor gold medalist from 2011, World Indoor and European silver medalist from 2010, over 800 metres. Jenny Meadows. Jenny, good evening.
Good evening, Chris. It's nice to be here.
And we have seen, I mean, first of all, we've seen a fantastic atmosphere from this crowd. We've had a lot of schools events already going on today. This place is buzzing, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I think the event's been building for the last couple of hours. The crowd have been fantastic, actually, getting really behind the school kids, and it's been great to see actually their reaction to getting the face on screen, the name on the bib, and they've just treated exactly the same as the elite athletes are here this evening.
And what about for these elite athletes then? Because for a lot of people, the peak of the season and the year will be September and October, outdoors in Doha. Starting as we are here in early February, that is a long calendar to peak at this time of year. Of course, lots will have the European Indoors as a target at the start of March, but for those who want to be peaking in Doha, that's a long time, isn't it?
It is. I mean, athletes approach it 2 different ways, I think. I think some people, just use it as a little bit of a benchmark. It's a long time to see how they're doing, but another lot of people are trying to actually peak at the indoor championships as well.
So the men's high jump will be the first field event that we will see live here in the Messehalle in Karlsruhe. And again, some of the world's top names involved here. Some of Europe's top names as well. We'll introduce you to those 8 competitors who are lining up for the men's high jump. And as part of the IAAF event presentation, they bring them in through the gate there with a bit of light. Andrei Protsenko, the world indoor bronze medalist from 2014, the athlete from Ukraine. Of course, you see SB's season's best on the graphics there. For a lot of athletes, that will be largely irrelevant, but what it does tell us is those who have a season's best are those who have already competed in 2019 on the indoor circuit. Some have, some haven't. For a lot of the athletes here in Karlsruhe this evening, it is the opening meet of the season. Not for this man. This is Naoto Tobe, the Asian bronze medalist. A lifetime best of 2 meters and 26 set last year. One of 2 of the leading Asian jumpers in this field. Pacemakers Silverstyle of Belarus. That looked more like Trey Colbert to me of the USA, but that's definitely Wang of China, the Asian champion, who recorded a mark of 2 meters 30. He's off. Come on, Wang, this way.
Had second thoughts there, I think.
It's confusing. You thought, hang on a minute, I thought this looks like too much of a too much of a bubbling atmosphere. We'll go back. Donald Thomas, familiar figure, of course, very experienced Bahamian, the 2007 world champion. And now we go to Gianmarco Tamberi, the world indoor and European champion from 2016.
He's excited to be here this evening.
The crowd. He is loving it. Look at him, running through like an eagle. And finally, Mateusz Jubilko, home favourite here, returning to Germany, of course, where he won the European Championship. So the full start list there as we confirm. Pavel Silverstyle, DNS there. Tamberi and Jubilko. And the bottom of that list, the European angle. So the athletes line up then in the centre of the arena here as we move to the short distances. We'll follow the high jump very closely as it progresses, of course. Athletes will just be going through their final preparations. They've already warmed up before coming out of the presentation gate. But this is the first of 2 heats of the women's 60 metres. That's the start list for the first of the 2. And in each of the 2 heats, the first 2 plus the next fastest 4 will go through to the final a little bit later on. So we'll introduce the athletes moving from the outside towards the centre. As we see the Bahrainian, who finished 4th in the Asian Games 100 metres, Hajar Al-Almiri. Back we go to lane 2. Good form, the German, Lisa Nipchen, the sprinter recording a personal best just last week of 7:33. Coming here in good form with the support of the home crowd as well. More German interest as well in lane 7, their national 200 metres champion, Jessica Bianca Vesoli. European bronze medalist in Berlin over 200 metres from the Netherlands, Jamila Samuel. Again, 7:24, just outside her lifetime best already this season, so she's coming here in good form as well. From Jamaica, the Commonwealth bronze medalist, Guyan Evans of Jamaica, who actually ran in Berlin last night. So she is coming here fresh from that. Only ran 7:33, which is well outside her lifetime best. Now we go to the European indoor silver medalist from 2017, Poland's Iwa Swoboda. Fastest in the field on paper with a lifetime best of 7:07. And finally, the third of the German athletes in this field, 2 times a European relay bronze medalist, Rebecca Haase. So the home fans have got 3 of these 7 starters here, but we'll certainly be looking at Swoboda with a 7:18 clocking already this season, and Guyan Evans hoping to improve on what she performed in Berlin across Germany just last night. Heat 1, first 2 plus the 4 fastest losers. Go through to the final a little bit later on. Skippers goes in heat 2. So away first time. Guyan Evans got out well in lane 6, but also Iwa Swoboda is streaking away at this early stage, and Swoboda will take it from Haase just outside her, and that is 7:08, and that is the fastest time in the world this year, albeit an early stage of the year. 7:08 for Iwa Swoboda, 100th of a second outside her lifetime best, Jenny, and she looks pretty pleased.
Yeah, she's delighted. I don't think she expected that, to take a whole 10th of a second off her previous season's best. It's very early in the indoor season, so yeah, she looks overjoyed.
Well, I tell you what, for winning a heat in an indoor meeting at the start of February, that's about as emotional as it gets, I think, for Iwa Swoboda. What a great marker that is for someone who will be heading to the European Championships, of course, where she won a silver in Glasgow, got out really well. She's already taken probably half a metre out of Haase just outside her. Nothing came from Guyan Evans, did it? It
didn't. I mean, she is well known for being such a great starter. Doesn't go over the 200 metres. She is a 60-metre specialist and, 100-metre specialist. But, yeah, her reaction from the start was great. She powered all the way through and, sometimes these athletes are pretty relaxed for a heat. You want to save a little bit. So definitely a mouth-watering final in prospect.
We love the pregnant pause while the reaction as she looks across to the clock, and she's thinking, is that right? 7:08. She clearly was in good shape, but not expecting to be in that good a shape. And what a way, with our first track heat of the evening live, we see a world lead. I know it's early in the year, but still it shows you the level of performances that these athletes are coming here with.
Absolutely, we'll take it. And I'm sure the athletes in the second heat coming up will, be looking at that clock. They'll be starting now in the blocks, measuring out, and, knowing that a real contest is happening here this evening.
So the capital Qs on the right-hand side of the result page there are the automatic qualifiers. So Swoboda and Haase will go through to the final later. Samuel will have to wait and see if she qualifies as the next fastest. Athletes gathering for Heat 2 then. Daphne Skippers will begin her season here. She's just got back from a warm weather training camp in Stellenbosch in South Africa. She's got a fellow Dutch athlete on the inside, also opening her season here, Marije van Hoenenstein, but the experienced Norwegian Ezing Okperebo, twice a European indoor medalist and one of the rising stars of German sprinting as well. Alexandra Berghardt, the 24-year-old, also will be looking to lay down a marker here in a lifetime best of 7:19. But Daphne Skippers, Jenny, recent change of coach, certainly now looking to make that count as she moves forward.
Yeah, Daphne's gone back to her old coach, Bart Benner. He coached her up to 2015. Obviously, she's had a lot of success from the junior ranks and transcended it into the senior ranks as well. She was being coached by American Rena Rada, but, he's gone back to the States. I believe that Daphne's in good shape. She certainly looks like she's had a great training camp anyway, doesn't she? I'm not quite that colour. But, yeah, she's been training in South Africa in Stellenbosch and, she's coming here. She does this meeting every year.
So let's meet the athletes then for Heat 2. On the outside in lane 8 will be the 9 times national title winner of Latvia, Sindija Buksa. On the inside in lane 2, the European relay silver medalist from last summer from the Netherlands, Marije van Hoenenstein. Some home interest here. A personal best just last week of 7:47. Her 5th competition of the year, actually. Jessica Rus. Another of the German competitors, Jennifer Montag, just 20 years of age. Lifetime best also set this year of 7:36. A fantastic experience for some of the up-and-coming German athletes being involved in this meeting at this level. 3 times a major relay medalist. In lane 6, Alexandra Berghardt, capable of 7:19. "30 years of age these days is Enoch Perebo of Norway, who at her peak, 7.10. Twice a European indoor medalist. And finally, a regular here in Karlsruhe. This is her 5th time competing in this meeting. Fresh with the Stellenbosch suntan as well. The double world 200 metres champion, Daphne Skippers. 7:00, 7 seconds dead. Her lifetime best. Some Dutch fans in. As once again, the first 2 plus the next 4 fastest reach the final later. So all eyes on Daphne Skippers out on lane 5, but inside her it's Okperebo who gets away well. Now Skippers starts to come in the second half of the race, and Skippers coming through will get it ahead of Okperebo, finishing fast with Buksa on the outside as well. But Skippers and Okperebo, the first 2.
Yeah, Daphne Skippers did what you expected, really. The start at this time of the year wouldn't really be a priority for her. She is great at the longer distance, the 200 metres, but she did what she needed to. Nice, safe qualification, 7.25 seconds. Obviously not as fast as what we saw in the first heat, so yeah, we get a chance to look here again.
So Okperebo was away really well, had a metre or so in that first 10 or 15, but now you see Daphne Skippers when they get to 30. Here she comes, eating up that ground on Okperebo outside her, who will have seen Daphne Skippers looming in her wing mirrors. And as you say, Skippers comfortable, 7.25, knew she just needed to get into the first 2, and it's nice, I guess, to have a couple of rounds. You can see very relaxed with even looking around, apart from down at the track there, Daphne Skippers for most of that.
Yeah, so we'll be looking at those 3rd and 4th positions now to see who's qualified for the final later on this evening. Confirmation then. Skippers and Okperebo with those capital Qs. We can see the
small cues. That are some the next fastest. Van Hoenenstein with a lifetime best in third. Buxa also with a lifetime best in fourth. And the composite there, those are the athletes that will make up the final of the women's 60 metres later. Svoboda with that world lead, 7:08, the fastest of them. And Jennifer Montag sneaking in as the 7:39 as the last of the fastest losers. So let's pick up the pole vault. This is Katerina Stephanie Lee, the world Olympic and European champion. Second attempt at 4:78 for Stephanie Lee, who fails on this occasion. Now, nobody is clear at this height at the moment. Possibly one of the surprises of the pole vault so far was Katerina Stephanie Lee, who just last weekend in Boston beat Stephanie Lee and recorded the second best vault of her life, 4:86. She failed 3 times at 4:71. So Najot a surprise early exit. The athletes still in the competition. The Commonwealth champion, Alicia Newman, who's equalled her personal best, or surpassed her personal best, and set a new national record as well indoors, 4:71. She's got 1 attempt left. And Sidorova, we have pictures of on the screen right now. Second attempt in the pole vault. The silver medalist at the World Indoor Championships in Birmingham last year, finishing behind Sandy Morris in a titanic tussle. So Sidorova, second attempt, 4:78. No one clear. Other exits, we've seen Kyriakopoulou, the Greek athlete, 4:63 was her best mark before 3 failures. Sidorova, nope, aborted on the way up. So Lisa Reisic, by the way, the German athlete, also failing 3 times at 4:71. Her best mark was 4:61. So the 3 athletes still in the competition, filling the top 3. Katie Najot on count back in 4th position. Quite a surprise to see Najot disappear from the competition that early on, Jen.
Yeah, she's been in tremendous form, and you know, we actually saw her going off, and she was a little bit emotional actually. I think she was expecting a lot more than that here this evening. 4:87 in Boston just a few days ago. You know, I think she was really hoping to have quite a tussle with Stephanie Lee this evening. But you know, this height is really finding them out. Once we get into the 4:17 category, this is real world-class jumping.
So a few words from Sidorova to her coaching team as we pick up the high jump, the men's high jump. Wang of China, first attempt coming up at 2:18. And sails over that. We say he's already produced 2:30 already this year. Looking forward to the European battle, Jen, in the high jump between Tamberi and Zhibilko.
Yeah, it promises to be a great one. This high jump competition is, you know, full of world-class jumpers, and you know, the European jumpers in particular, obviously, we're trying to see their form ahead of Glasgow European champs in just a month's time. So we go back to pole vault. Stephanie Lee getting towards crunch time. This is second attempt for her. So 2 fellow competitors, Newman and Sidorova, have both failed twice. So this for Stephanie Lee to take the lead. He'd been edged into second place in Boston last weekend. No, so she bails out like Sidorova did last time round. So the athletes just trying to find a bit of rhythm here in the pole vault. Yeah, good to have 3 athletes though, you know, still in at a height of 4:78. Obviously they're all now on the 3rd attempt, so winner takes all. Yep, I think I said 3rd attempt at 4:71 there for Stephanie Lee, because she's obviously over that, so it is 3rd attempt at 4:78. She is capable of 4:90 indoors, of course, all-conquering force, but has 1 or 2 rivals starting to emerge. Sandy Morris, of course, the world indoor champion, has had a slight injury setback over the winter, so she's still building up towards the outdoors, one would think. US indoor champs coming up, of course, at the end of this month as well. For Alicia Newman, though, big breakthrough for her last season in terms of winning the Commonwealth gold medal. We'll see her next with her 3rd attempt at 4:78. But already having set a lifetime best and a national record, an extra 7 centimetres on top of that is quite a big ask. You know, it is. You know, psychologically, you've already done something that you maybe thought surpassed what you thought you could do this evening, and now you're already, you know, going for an even greater height. So, you know, I'm sure whatever happens, she'll come away from this arena, you know, with obviously a lot of confidence from this evening, you know, getting that 4:71 national record. But, you know, another 7 centimetres if she can, 4:78. She wants the crowd support. She treated us to a bit of a backflip earlier on when she recorded that lifetime best and national record indoors. This is a must for her, 4:78,
to crown. You can see the smile on her face. I think it looks like a jump to nothing, really, with the smile on her face here. I think she's thinking, I might be able to do it, but I've had a great night already.
Absolutely. I think sometimes an athlete's just relax and they just go with the flow. You know, great things can happen. So let's see how she gets on.
What's the Commonwealth champion got then at 4.78 meters? I'll tell you what, she got the height.
She got the height, she did. But yeah, as you said, you know, she's delighted. She's walked away here with a national record and, you know, a lot of positives to take from that, I'm sure.
Well, on countback at the moment, the athletes all prior to this height all had a clean card. So at the moment, Alicia Newman had 5 clearances, first-time clearances at earlier heights. Sidorova has 2 clearances on her record and 3 passes, and Stephanie Lee has just 2 clearances as well.
It's an interesting event, isn't it? It comes down to strategy. Really like the high jump as well. You know, Stephanie Lee only entered the competition at 4.63. She's that confident. When obviously, you know, Alicia Newman, she came in at 4.20 meters, so she took every single bar. But, you know, she's got 5 clearances, and, you know, if it finished like that, she would take the victory. Yeah,
it does show the benefit sometimes of just getting a bit of early rhythm, as we pick up Angelika Sidorova now to stay in the competition as well, with her third attempt at 4.78 meters. Already has jumped 4.85 this year as Sidorova, twice a world indoor silver medalist, not only in Birmingham but also in Sopot in 2014. Can she stay in the competition at 4.78? Oh, she was closer than Newman, but still not quite close enough.
Oh, that was a huge clearance. She just rattled it, didn't she? Gosh, the height's there. I can tell why she's jumped 4.85 meters already.
So, a frustrated look from Angelika Sidorova, who will have realised she was sailing upwards there, but unfortunately came down on it. So she is out of the competition, which means that Stephanie Lee has a vault to take the meet. And 10 important points, by the way, in the IAAF World Indoor Tour. We should say there are points on offer for the top 4 positions. 10 points for the winner of the scoring events, 7 for second, 5 for third, 3 points for fourth. And the overall winner across the 6 events, the best 3 scores from the athlete's record over the 6 events contribute. So the maximum points you can get are 30 from 3 wins. Stephanie Lee has a 7 on her card from last weekend, so a 10 here would be pretty useful, particularly with Katerina Stephanie Lee, who took the 10 last week, having gone out early.
This would be a great opportunity for her to bag a 10 points, but she's guaranteed some points, which is fantastic. But I'm sure she's not just here for the points, I'm sure she's here for the clearances as well. Absolutely.
Over in Europe, but US based these days, Katerina Stephanie Lee, coached by her husband, and has a same management team as Katerina Stephanie Lee, so they know each other very well. They follow each other around the world competing. It has been a Stephanie Lee against Najot show, if you like, in the early part of the year. This to take the event and to stay in the competition as well, and to potentially move higher. 4.78 for the win for Stephanie Lee. It's not to be for her either. So 3 failures and out at 4.78 for Katerina Stephanie Lee as well. Frustrated all round because all the athletes there are capable of going higher. But it's one of those days, isn't it?
Sometimes you just have a competition like that, and, you know, I think you can only benchmark yourself against the others as well. You know, 4.71, 3 people clearing that, absolutely fantastic competition. Just wonder what the conversation's going to be at home. Do you think the husband's in trouble?
Oh, I don't know. Is it the husband's fault?
Is it the husband or the coach tonight?
She didn't look too frustrated when she looked across there. I mean, that wasn't close, was it? She's knocked that off on the way up, Stephanie Lee. So there'll be more to come from her. Defending her world title in Doha, of course. She has the major titles, but indoors it didn't work out for her in Birmingham last year, 2018. I'll confirm that full result of the pole vault for you very shortly. You're very welcome to the IAAF YouTube channel. We're live from the Messehalle here in Karlsruhe on the second leg of the IAAF World Indoor Tour. Be prepared to move live to the track shortly. Just a bit of a debrief for Stephanie Lee with her coaching team. Don't forget all the action behind the scenes and all sorts you can follow via the IAAF's social media channels as well. Back we go live with the high jump. Wang of China will attempt 2.22 meters for the first time. 2 athletes already clearing this height, Tobias of Japan and Pacemakers of Ukraine. So far, Trey Calder of the USA is actually out of the competition after 3 failures. Wang will progress. 2.22 clear. Thomas, Tamberi and Jabilko have all cleared the previous height first time as well, so they will be next to attempt 2.22 meters.
Chris, it's really interesting being in an indoor arena, isn't it? You know, there's so many different events going on at the moment. We can see the men's 800 metres lining up. We can see the high jump, the women's pole vault just finished.
So the athlete's about to enter the arena, and one of the superstars of world athletics at the moment, someone that's really got people talking, is lining up in that queue, ready to come in. Benjamin Furler of Switzerland, the first that we see. 25 last week, the Swedish athlete. Miguel, very experienced campaigner, the European indoor silver medalist for Sweden. Jumping at position 2. Jarvis the jumper on social media. Jarvis got to the USA. The US indoor champion. This one will get a roar. Julian Howard from Karlsruhe, 4 times the national champion, competing in the red and white of the Karlsruhe club as well. And the support will be behind him, that is for sure. The European 223 bronze medalists, Tobias Nilson Mangla, another of the Swedish competitors. Then we get to the 2 big guns, really, in terms of titles won. The European champion, just 20 years of age, Miltiades Tentoglu of Greece, has already set an indoor lifetime best this season. 7 metres and 99. What a day to go over 8 metres indoor for the first time. But they'll build some build-up for this guy. One of these stars, the Cuban, the world indoor champion, Juan Miguel Echeverria, who went sailing out, remember, outdoors in Stockholm to 8 metres 83. Unfortunately windy, but at 20 years of age, a surprise winner of the World Indoor Championship, and he has gone from strength to strength. Excited to see what he produces on his seasonal debut. There's the full list then. As you can see, just 3 athletes have competed already so far this season. Echeverria opened last season here in Karlsruhe and is doing the same again, almost for a bit of good luck, I guess, bearing in mind the season he had last year. So we go back to the track and we see the athletes on screen for the men's 800 metres, which is actually one of the non-tour events here in Karlsruhe. There are 8 of them in total. We'll introduce you to them one by one. On the inside, first of all, representing the Czech Republic, a 147 runner, Philip Schneider. We'll get his moment from the crowd very shortly here in the Mezzahalle. As we say, sold out since before Christmas, this meeting. 5,000, fantastic enthusiasm. As we see the athletes sharing lane 2, we have Andreas Buber on the right of the shot there, the European indoor silver medalist from 2017. Alongside him from Poland, 4th at the European Championships outdoors, Michał Rośmisz. Both those athletes making their seasonal debuts. Then to Sweden we go, in lane 3, the European silver medalist behind Adam Kashot of Poland, Andreas Kramer. Sub-147 runner in his best form. Swedish record holder outdoors. Lane 4, a welcome return to action for the Dutchman, Tymon Coopers, who's been out for a year and is on the comeback trail. Great to see him back racing. One of the Great Britain greats over 800 metres, 2nd on the UK all-time list indoors, behind the great Seb Coe, Andrew Osagi, twice a world indoor bronze medalist himself. And on the outside, Eric Sawinski, the world indoor bronze medalist from Portland in his home USA, 2nd here last year, and Guillermo Rojo, the pacemaker from Spain, on the outside. So the men's 800 metres. 4 laps of the track. They run the first bend in lanes, of course, and break through the cones on the backstraight. So there they go. It's tight enough indoors, but when you're sharing a lane sometimes it's a bit of a battle, but obviously with one of the pacemakers breaking from the outside. But in the early stages, Filip Schneider of the Czech Republic has gone off quickly, and the right of the shot there, white and the red, and now Rojo, the pacemaker, I think Jen will take them to 500 metres.
Yeah, apparently he's going to try to take them through 51.5 seconds at 400 metres, which is quite a realistic pace. You're probably looking at about a 1:45 on the back of that, but they're spreading out quite nicely.
Lots of running room at the moment. So Rojo takes them through. Kramer of Sweden in second place. Then comes the Czech athlete Schneider in third. Sawinski of the USA in fourth. Then Buber 5. Andrew Asagi of Great Britain in the green vest, happy just to sit in 8th place at the moment as they swing round into the home straight, heading towards the halfway stage. We'll keep an eye on the clock to see how Guillermo Rojo's pacing is done.
Yeah, I think he's pacing very well, actually. 51.5 seconds, and wow, clockwork judgment. He's doing really well. He's trying to get another 100 metres, take them to 500 metres, but it's really strung out now. The guys are really challenging, not only for places, but also good times as well. Yeah, Pacemaker's completely done his job there. The guys have got a lot to thank him for.
Good 500 metres from Rojo at the front, then he steps off and leads Kramer of Sweden in the lead. Schneider in second place, Sawinski third, then Buber in fourth. Roshmis of Poland also trying to make progress and just starting to lose a bit of touch. Coopers and Asagi at the moment as they hear the bell and come round with 100 metres still to go. Kramer now waiting for the challenges to come. He's still got a metre on the field. Schneider in second place now. The American Sawinski, the world indoor bronze medalist from a couple of years ago, starts to make his move round the home turn. Kramer has been in front for a while. Here comes Sawinski down the outside, driving those arms. Can he get there? Kramer's going to hold on. Kramer from Sawinski. Schneider in third. That the 1-2-3. 1:46.51, the winning time for the European silver medalist Andreas Kramer, which his lifetime best indoors.
Yeah, he ran a great race, a brave race. He went with the pace, you know, really strong in the end. Erik Sawinski, he's not a front runner, you know. I had a word with him this morning at the hotel. He's kind of like, well, someone will go with the pace, meaning it obviously wasn't going to be him. And he's finished really, really strong. But, you know, here we can see Kramer in the last 100 metres. He's just working his arms as much as he can. When your legs are full with lactic acid, you just keep working your arms even more, as much as you can. And yeah, he's took the victory there in 1:46.51 seconds.
Do you think he would have been waiting for the challengers to arrive a bit earlier there, Kramer?
You know, I think he deserves to win. I think he maybe thought Erik Sawinski would come up on him, but you know, Sawinski's travelled in from the US, ran in Boston, New York, last week. Great victory, and you know, went to the worthy person in the end.
He was second last year, Erik Sawinski here, and he's second again here in Karlsruhe. So the bridesmaid a couple of times, but it's Andreas Kramer who has the flowers, and the Swedish athlete will celebrate. The crowd have been getting behind the field events. They love their field events here, that is for sure. As we pick up the long jump, Mikael Tornus will go next for Sweden. Mikael Tornus in round one. Bit of a frown, a bit of a disappointed look, but 7.91 m. His opening mark, 8.30 m, is his lifetime best. Early stages of the long jump, just in round one. So confirmation of that men's 800 metres result, the lifetime indoor best for Andreas Kramer, 1:46.52 from Sawinski. Also a lifetime best there indoors for Filip Schneider of the Czech Republic. So the hurdles coming out in the centre of the arena. Women's 60 metres hurdles coming soon. Let's confirm the pole vault, by the way. As you can see there, on countback, all absolutely tied up. We have three-way winners. Alicia Newman with that national record, 4.71, Sidorova and Stephanie Lee. These are the pole vault positions. We need to dip into the extra reserves of flowers there, Jen.
I was just thinking that. I hope they've got enough for the rest of the meeting. 3 bouquets instead of the expected one there.
The last 2 events, if there's no flowers, we'll know where they've gone now. They'll recycle them. Look at this kid. Look at this guy. Wow.
We're not going to miss him, are we?
Talking about making a statement, he is ready for 2019. Juan Miguel Echeverria. His first jump of what could be a huge year for him Wants the crowd behind him. Lots of the crowd will have come just to see him, by the way. It's fantastic for this IAAF World Indoor Tour meeting to have him here. Those are the marks you can see. Tornäs of Sweden, the early leader. Tentoglu, the European champion, has opened with 7.79. Will we see Echeverria go beyond 8 metres in the first round? Well, if we wait for a white flag, which he's going to get, and that is beyond 8 metres to kick off.
Yeah,
and that has got the crowd whooping.
Cycle at the end was just something phenomenal. He's almost finished his jump, and then he just cycles his legs and gets so much further. Wow, he was almost at the end of the pit there.
Well, I tell you what, the marker board on the edge of the pit stops at 8 metres. They're going to need to start redesigning them. 8.08 for Echeverria. That's a pretty handy opening jump of this season, isn't it? But they are going to start having to add a 9 on the end of those, I think. I'm not saying he's going to jump 9 metres in the immediate future, but certainly as a bit of a marker. We're going to keep needing to see
definitely got everyone excited in the men's long jump. And wow, he's what? 25 centimetres behind the board there.
Miles short of the board. Talk about taking a safe one and getting something on the board, literally in the early stages. He got a mark on the board, but he didn't get much else on the board there. 8.08 for Echeverria. And the crowd even gasped at that one, Jen. So if you add another 70 centimetres onto that, imagine what they'll be reacting.
He's got the legs for it, though. If there's anyone's going to be a long jumper, he's built for it, isn't he?
Well, the sport needs emerging stars, as we see Prochenko in the high jump here. This is his third attempt. Well, his first attempt at 2.26. Which he fails. First attempt, that was 2.26 for Andrei Prochenko. Athletes clear in the high jump. Wang's clear at 2.22. Donald Thomas clear. Tamberi clear. And also Zabilko clear at 2.22 meters. Tobey of Japan also clear. So these athletes have already been on the track once today with the heats of the 60 metres hurdles. Heat 1 of the women's 60-metre hurdles. Disqualification for Yvonne Britton of the USA. And early out plots, it's Naya of Ukraine going well. And Nadine Visser coming through now outside her in lane 5. And it's Nadine Visser who will lead and get there. Visser ahead of Potits Naya, Heat 1. The second of the 60 metres hurdle heats. Rolleder, the home favourite, going out well in lane 5. But inside her, it's Herska also going strongly. Herska from Rolleder at this stage. And it is Herska of Finland who takes it. The first of the 2 automatic qualifiers ahead of Cindy Rolleder. So those are the 60 metres hurdle heats from a little bit earlier on. This is the lineup for the final. First of all, Germany's Franziska Hoffmann will go in lane 1. From Poland, Karolina Koleszek goes in lane 8. Again, we're introducing the athletes from the outside lanes, moving towards the centre, ending on the fastest of the qualifiers. Koleszek, the 8-times national champion of Poland. This is Juliana Penella, European under-23 bronze medalist from Italy. Lifetime best just outside 8 seconds, 8.04. Luka Koszak of Hungary, who came here in great form, ran a personal best last night, 8.07 across in Berlin. The winner of the, or rather second placer in the first of the heats, Plotitsnaya. 15 times she's won the national title of Ukraine. A sub-8 second runner at her best. The Finn Rita Herska, the winner of that second heat. Lifetime best 8.04. Then the talented multi-eventer who has the 60 hurdles and the sprint hurdles as her forte, really, when she competes in individual events. Nadine Visser of the Netherlands, world indoor bronze medalist at this 60 hurdles discipline, 4th outdoors in the European Championships as well. And there'll be a big roar for the home favourite Cindy Rolleder, the European indoor champion and European outdoor champion from 2016, who actually got left in the block slightly in her heat and did well to come through in the second half of the race. There's your full lineup. Rolleder, the solitary sub-8 second runner so far this season. The final of the women's 60 metres hurdles. Also one of the non-scoring events on the tour this year. Away they go, first time. Cindy Roller again was slightly slow away. Herska got out well, and Nadine Visser going well in the centre as well. It's Visser and Herska. Herska just stumbles. It's very close on the line between Visser and the fast-finishing Roller. Well, that clattering of the last hurdle there for Herska has cost her potentially the chance of a win. We'll wait and see on the photo between Visser and Roller.
Yeah, she ran incredibly well. I thought she actually was going to take the victory there, but yeah, she just clipped the last hurdle. Rollinder, the camera's on her. We're wondering whether she's took it. It was really close.
We'll wait to see for confirmation of that. Cindy Roller will be looking up towards the same scoreboard that everybody else, and it's gone, in fact, to Nadine Visser. 7.97. Just that stumble there from Herska.
It was a great race, you know, 3 fantastic competitors in there. You know,
keep an eye on Herska here, third from the left of the shot in lane 6, bang there. And that has cost her all momentum. She actually did well to stay in her lane there.
She actually did, and stay on her feet, if anything. I think actually she would have took the victory, but yeah, the victory goes to Visser in another sub-8 second clocking.
And again, with maybe multi-events, the bigger focus for her, when you can produce performances like that individually and be competitive in individual events as well, that's a huge boost for her going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure she'll be at the European Indoor Championships in Glasgow over the pentathlon.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 events, of course, shorter multi-event programme for athletes in indoors, as we see confirmation of Visser, 7.97, Rolida, 7.98, and an equaling of the lifetime best of Koleszek of Poland in third, and Herska. In the end, that stumble has cost her probably 10 for the second and potentially victory. Finishes 4th. We go back to the long jump, and this is the Swedish athlete, Tobias Nilson Mangla, who was, in fact, the early leader in this stage, and he's gone sailing out over 8 metres as well. Nilson Mangla there, and confirmed as a lifetime best of 8.08, so exactly the same distance of Echeverria. OK, we pick up the high jump now, and Gianmarco Tamberi, who again is looking to bounce back, of course. He had a fantastic 2016 and was denied the chance to go to the Rio Olympics by injury. But now he is certainly right back amongst it as one of the top European performers. He was involved in the press conference as well. And tell us about half a beard there, Jen.
Yeah, I think it started some years ago, 2014 even, in fact. You know, he said he used to get a little bit nervous before competitions, and he decided to try and work out something to kind of take his mind off it. Don't know how he came to having half a beard and half a clean-shaven face, but it works for him.
We'll come back to Tamberi in a second. We see Echeverria, meanwhile, in round 2 of the long jump. 8 metres 08 in the first round was his opening mark of the season. Lutiadis Tentogli, by the way, 7.79 is best so far. As Echeverria, who looked pretty ominous with that loosener in round 1. Nilson Mangla has tied him, though, which would be a good confidence booster for the Swedish athlete with that performance in round 1. Taking adding an extra 17 centimetres to his lifetime best. Watch Echeverria got in round 2. Again, he's heading towards 8 metres. Doesn't look quite as far with the naked eye. He maybe got a little bit of something on the board there. We'll wait for...
Yeah, he was definitely closer. You know, still 20 years of age. He's really is a star of the future, you know. He's doing incredibly well. He came to prominence in 2018. And, you know, gosh, we hope we have him for the next decade to entertain us.
So, 7.95, just shy of 8 metres that time. So on track, we're back amongst the scoring events. Next we have the men's 1,500 metres. There are 11 athletes in total. That's In fact, Kessler, the German athlete there, is DNS, which will be disappointing for the home crowd for sure. He's actually a local Karlsruhe athlete, so it'd be a shame for them to not see Christoph Kessler. Vincent Mutai, one of the pacemakers there on the second page. So we meet some of the athletes towards the outside. Vincent Mutai, right on the outside, one of the pacemakers as well. But we're zooming in on Bethwell Bergen, Molidor bronze medalist over 3,000 metres. And second in the mile in Boston last week. So he's coming here off some decent form.
He is, yeah. I think it's always good, especially in the endurance events, to kind of get a little bit of, one in the bank if you can, blow the cobwebs away. He's made the trip over from Boston, goes here in the 1,500 metres today. We've got a couple of pacemakers. They're looking like they're heading for a decent time. So, you never know in these events whether the athletes go with the pace or not, but let's see what happens.
Aman Vorta of Ethiopia, the very experienced world indoor silver medalist from 2014, 34 years of age. So, Vorta of Ethiopia. So, Mutai right on the outside of one of the pacemakers, and Saul Martinez of Spain as well. From the inside, Belhaj, Kibet, Bebendorf of Germany, Probst, Saul Ordonez, and Simon Denisel, the national champion of France. Mutai and Martinez, they're right on the outside, as you say, Jen. We'll come back to their jobs as pacemakers in a second. But Bergen, 7 points last week for him in the mile, which still counts towards the 1,500 metres. That is the mile event last week in terms of the point scoring. So looking to add to those 7 points that he gathered last weekend. Athletes do have to compete in a minimum of 2 IAA World Indoor Tour events to be eligible to take the overall title, but of course ideally you'd compete in more than that to try and rack up as many points as possible. The athletes will merge as they come down the home straight for the first time. 7.5 laps of the track, and the first of the pacemakers, Saul Martinez, the Spaniard, with Mutai dropping in just behind him.
Yeah, they've got 2 pacemakers here in the field, which is normally an indication that the guys want to go for a fast time. The second pacemaker can sit in and hopefully, draft a little bit, so they've got more energy to take them a little bit closer. We're looking at 57 seconds at 400 metres and 1 minute 55 at 8, and we're hoping that the 2 pacemakers will get them until 400 metres to go.
Well, they come round for the first time. Martinez, Mutai, Bergen in third, then comes Water. Fourth place currently, or rather in fifth place I should say, is Kibet, then Ordonez, the Spaniard, as they make their way down the back straight.
And again, it's a race that's really spread out. 57.30 seconds. The pacemaker's doing exactly what he's been asked to do. Really solid early pace set. Mutai, Bergen on his shoulder.
It's interesting that Martinez has been allowed to open up 5 metres or so. The other athletes are tracking the second of the pacemakers, Vincent Mutai, at this early stage. The early stage, Karl Bebendorf, the German athlete, is at the back of the field in the red and white. So Martinez were expected to take them round to 400 metres. But he's gone past that at the moment, so he's out doing his work at the moment, but he can carry on as long as he wants, because actually at the moment the athletes seem more content to track Mutai. They
do. I think Mutai's running obviously a couple of seconds slower than predicted, and as we say, that Bergen passes him actually, so the second pacemaker is gone. He's not able to do the job he was trying to be asked to do. Yeah,
well, that's certainly Martinez has gone on longer than we expected. So Bergen and Water, 1 and 2 behind the pacemaker at the moment. Then we see Kibet, the second of the Kenyan athletes. Ordonez of Spain, currently in 4th position. Then Simon Denisel, the 2 times national champion of France at 3,000 metres.
Yeah, Martinez has gone all the way to 900 metres there, which has really helped the athletes. And they've got 600 metres left. 600 metres is okay, 3 laps left. If you're at the front, hopefully you can start winding it up off this sort of pace. They were a couple of seconds down on what we thought they would be, but still a sub 3 minutes 40 time at the moment.
The tall figure of Water just moving up onto the outside of Bergen. It's just using the big screen here in the arena to be a bit of a help, but at the moment Water now decides to strike. It's Water past Bergen at the moment. Kibet in 3rd, then comes Ordonez, Denisel of France in 5th, then comes Marius Probst, the German athlete in the blue and white, currently running in 6th position. As we head towards the back, Belhaj, 1 from the back, and Bebendorf of Germany bringing up the rear at the moment. But it's the 3 East Africans at the moment. It's Ethiopia from Kenya, as they come round on this occasion. Now Bergen's going to strike back.
was such an exciting race to watch. You know, the pace has changed, the lead has changed several times. But yeah, here with 200 metres to go, this is where the real afterburners kicks in. Going down the back straight now, we can see Bergen's holding on. You can see that familiar eye look, the roll of the eyes that he does. You know, he's just hanging on for dear life here.
Here comes the challenge from Vincent Quebet. Can Bethwell Bergen go one better than in Boston last weekend? Moves a little bit wide, but Quebet strong around the outside. And Vincent Quebet comes away and takes it 3:38.22. Second place goes to Bethwell Bergen, and a fast finish from Simon Denisel of France, who got himself up for third. But Bergen, as you say, was eyeballs out there, wasn't he, from quite a long way out?
Yeah, it's a characteristic of his, definitely. But yeah, here we can see, you know, there's nothing you can do at this stage, and Quebet, you know, has just got speed to burn in those longer legs of his. But, you know, you've got to give it to Quebet and Bergen, though. They worked really hard between themselves the last 600 metres to maintain that pace and finish with a 3:38. And, you know, the meet director was hoping for a 3:37 with that early pace, and 3:38 is a really realistic time for this time of the season.
He likes this track, does Vincent Quebet. He set his lifetime best over 3,000 metres here a couple of years ago as well. As we pick up Gianmarco Tamberi in the high jump. Third attempt at 2:26 this for Tamberi. And he's over. He had to be. Gave it a nudge. He's a happy boy, Gianmarco Tamberi. Again, 2:26. He's capable of a lot better than that. But a bit like Stephanie Lee earlier on, with the do-or-die attempt, if you like. This time he manages to go over.
Yeah, he was well over, wasn't he? Just clipped it with his ankle.
European champion Jibilko of Germany. The home fans would love to see him clear this at the third attempt, but he can't. 2:26 and out at that height. So just a clearance at 2:22 for Jibilko. So disappointment for the German crowd and for Mateusz Jibilko. The Bahamian Donald Thomas, 2 metres and 29. Not to be at the first attempt as the bar moves up. Donald Thomas. Again, another of the very experienced athletes. There are 2 athletes clear at Tobey and Wang. The 2 Asian competitors both clear at 2 metres and 29. First time, and that is indeed a lifetime best and national record for Tobey of Japan. With that clearance, as we just wrap up things in the men's 1500 metres, 10 points on the IAAF World Indoor Tour for Vincent Quebet. He finished 5th in Boston last week, out of the points in the miles. He's off the mark for the year. Bergen takes the 7th for second, Denisel third, and he gets 7 points. So, Tamberi, who at 2 metres 26 got over, of course, when he had to. This is live pictures at 2 metres 29. First attempt. Close, but not close enough.
Yeah, I think it's quite hard for high jumpers. They're just trying to find the rhythm sometimes, and all the surfaces are slightly different. You know, it's not like one of the high jumpers is not doing well. I think a few of them are just, you know, having to check the marks, find the surface, find the feet. But he's got 2 more attempts at this height.
Well, Gianmarco Tamberi was actually part of the press conference in the advance of this event. They actually plonked him in the crowd to do a few questions for the likes of Stephanie Lee, who were on the stage, if you like, doing the answering. If you see the half and half beard there, you see on one side of his face, you wouldn't think he had a beard. He normally at major champs shaves half of it off after qualification. If he's made the final, half the beard comes off. But of course, in an event like this, there is no qualification. So this is Andrei Protsenko, second attempt at 2 metres 29 in the high jump. With 2 athletes already clear, he is not going to join that list at the moment. He's pretty frustrated with that. Second failure for him at 2:29. So at the moment, Tobey and Wang are the 2 who've managed to get clear at that height. Naoto Tobey, the Asian bronze medalist, 2:26 he jumped last year, and he's already surpassed that with that new national record. And Wang, the Asian champion, fresh from a competition just 3 days ago across Europe. And coming here, just showing the benefit of having that competition in your legs and in your body.
Yeah, I think when you're training hard throughout the winter, you know, you're putting a lot of volume in, you're doing a lot of weights and things like that. Sometimes you know, you're working quite a lot on technique, and sometimes just putting it together in a competition environment, you know, is so important. But, you know, these athletes are using this early indoor season to build. Each week you would hope that the heights would, you know, go greater, and Tamberi's here asking the crowd, you know, a bit of a showman, you know, I want your support, give me some noise, help me over this bar.
So Tamberi, here he goes. second attempt at 2 meters and 29 for the Italian. He's due to appear in Turin on Wednesday night in the next event on the IAAF World Indoor Tour as well. The crowd's certainly getting behind him. Donald Thomas, by the way, has passed his second attempt at 2:29. Tamberi, can he clear his second? Yeah, not too far away, but it's 2 X's for Tamberi.
Yeah, it was a better attempt than the first, certainly.
So away first time. Guy Evans got out well in lane 6, but also Eva Svoboda is streaking away at this early stage. Take it from Haase just outside her, and that is 7.08. Who gets away well. Now Skippers starts to come in the second half of the race, and Skippers coming through will get it ahead of Okparebo. Finishing fast was Buksha on the outside as well, but Skippers and Okparebo the first two. So those confirmation there of the heats we saw earlier on live in the women's 60 metres as we introduce the athletes for the final. Sindija Buksha of Latvia will occupy lane 1. Again, we're introducing the athletes from the outside lanes merging towards the centre. Jamila Samuel of the Netherlands, 7.19 her lifetime best. Just to point out, by the way, none of the world indoor point scorers from last week in Boston are here. The women's 60 metres is one of the events that does carry right through every single stop of the IAAF World Indoor Tour. There are only 3 events that are present at every single 6 tour meetings. The men's 400, which we'll see, and the men's 1500, which we saw a moment ago. Those athletes have the opportunity at all 6, as we see Mariah van Hunenstein of the Netherlands. She'll go to lane 7. More home interest. Out of lane 3, Rebecca Haase, the multiple European relay medalist. Outdoor Championships in Berlin on home territory in 2018, and also in Amsterdam in 2016, when she took the bronze as part of the German team. Those supporters with those letters, by the way, we'll tell you more about them in a short while as we see Ezzy Okparebo, the Norwegian athlete. Those supporters from the local club, well, not so local, about 40 kilometres away on the French-German border. The club is Breisach, and they have all sorts of letters. They seem to rearrange them for every single competitor they want to support, which is brilliant. Eva Svoboda with that fantastic world-leading time in the heat of 7.08. And she got another performance of that magnitude in her, lining up against the final athlete that we will introduce, the double world champion over the longer distance of 200 metres, Daphne Skippers. Where's your money going here, Jen? Because Skippers looked comfortable, and Svoboda looked relatively all out in conceding that, or rather marking that world lead. Oh,
you put me on the spot.
That's what you're here for, that's what you're getting paid for.
Yeah, the Polish athlete Svoboda looked good, didn't she? I mean, and they're in the lanes next to each other as well. Yeah, I'm going for a Polish victory. Polish victory, which might be an upset on the form guide, if you like, but as the attention will be on those centre lanes. Okparebo ran well in the heat as well to occupy Daphne Skippers' attentions for a large part of that heat. So from the inside, Buksha of Latvia, Montagne, Germany, Haase, Germany, Svoboda, Poland, Skippers, Netherlands, Okparebo, Norway, Van Hunenstein, Netherlands, and Samuel, Netherlands. The women's 60 metres final. Well, we always wait for the official verdict there, but I think one of the athletes remaining in her blocks was a little bit of giveaway. We'll let the start team make their decisions for them, but in lane 6, Ezzy Okparebo didn't move when the gun eventually went. No, the nervous moments, aren't they? You know, the 60 metres, it is all to do with the start, and we actually saw that she just twitched beforehand, and she just sat in a block. She knew that she twitched. You know, the start is so vital over 60 metres. You know, I do think it's going to be between Svoboda and Skippers, and Svoboda's start compared to Skippers is really going to work hard for her, but yeah, let's see what they say. Well, they've actually come across with a yellow card, so the second chance for Okparebo there. Who, I think will feel like she's potentially a bit lucky. She clearly moved, but they've obviously decided there was something that caused that, something external. So they've given her the benefit of the doubt with a warning there. Well, it's good to see that all 8 still go.
So again, a big 10 points up for grabs for the winner of this women's 60 metres. Away this time, and Svoboda got another good one, and Skippers again will have to come in the second half of the race. It's Svoboda at this stage. Skippers, can she get there before the line? No, she can't. Consistent performances from Iga Svoboda of Poland. 7.10 unofficially this time, and it's 10 points on the tour for the Polish athlete, Iga Svoboda.
Yeah, what an evening that young lady has had. Not only to get the 7.08 in the heat, but to actually take the crown of, Daphne Skippers. That's, quite some scalp to receive here this evening.
Well, the European indoor silver medalist from 2017, who will be looking to go, as we said earlier, one better in Glasgow at the start of March. Of course, the athletes will be keen to see what's happening in the positions in behind. It was getting tight behind Daphne Skippers because there are not only healthy points up for grabs, 10-7, 5 and 3 in the points column, of course, as we see them get it. Pareba actually got out pretty well, given that she'd rumbled in the previous effort, but Svoboda there, just no let-up, was there? That gap from Skippers just wouldn't close.
Yeah, I mean, Skippers actually reacted really well, but it was just the drive phase that wasn't really there. But, once she comes, she really gets into her own running. But Svoboda, she'd have ran really well over the 100 metres there. She wasn't tying up at all over that 60-metre distance. And, Daphne Skippers was coming, but just not fast enough.
21 years of age, Iga Svoboda, so plenty more to come from her, and could be a big European challenger on the global stage. We pick up the high jump again with the Ukrainian athlete Andrei Prochenko, who this is his first attempt at 2:31, but he passed his final attempt at 2:29, so that makes this crucial. Has to get it to stay alive at 2:31. Not to be, so again, Jen talked about tactics earlier on with athletes choosing to pass at certain heights for technical reasons, but Prochenko's night is at an end with his clearance of 2:26, which currently has him in 4th position. Other athletes to pass, by the way. Donald Thomas, as we mentioned earlier, passed at 2:29. As we see the long jump, Tobias, red flag in the long jump, so that one won't be measured. Just going back to the high jump, Tamberi's passed his 3rd attempt at 2:29, so he'll have one attempt at 2:31 in a second. Confirmation of that foul for Tournes. So Tobe, a lifetime best and a national record already at 2:29. Can he improve it further at 2:31? First attempt. Yes, he can.
Man, what a clearance.
Tobe of Japan. Out comes the correction fluid, and a new record goes into the books. And that equals the meeting record as well here at the indoor meeting in Karlsruhe, which the meeting stretched back to 1985, which tells you what a performance that is.
Yeah, maybe some of the jumpers that we thought we were going to get, the 2.30 metres and above, haven't come to fruition this evening, but what an absolutely fantastic jump there by Toby.
So that record currently held by Troy Kemp of the Bahamas from 1994, the meeting record, as we see Wang. Also first attempt at 2:31, and he's equalled it as well.
Well, this high jump competition has really just come alive. Wow, we're getting spoiled. 2.30 metres bars are, what you see in major championships winning medals, and 2 of those athletes are over that this evening.
And that is also an equaling of his lifetime best indoors of 2:31 as well. It also, as you saw on the caption a moment ago, equals the world lead, but again, that is a mark in its infancy at this time of year, but still gives you a context of the performances that these athletes are producing, and he didn't even graze the bar there. Donald Thomas, second attempt, or rather first attempt at this height, but he passed after a failure at his previous height, so he'll have one more attempt at 2:31. As you can see there on the caption, the dash, for those of you not familiar with field event scoring, means a pass. As we pick up the world indoor champion live in the long jump, he passed in round 3. His best so far from round 1, 8:08 for the 20-year-old from Cuba. A determined look on his face this time. It's gone beyond 8 metres, but it's a red flag. So having just 1 or 2 issues with the board at the moment. He was miles short of the board first attempt, grazed it with the second attempt, and over it with the third. So whistle stop this. We're back to Tamberi in the high jump. He's only got 1 attempt at 2:31. As you can see there, he passed his 3rd attempt at 2:29. Again, it's not close enough for Gianmarco Tamberi, whose competition comes to an end with his clearance at 2:26. Is that an inflatable pizza we just saw?
I think it was. I'm getting a little bit hungry as well.
Yeah, the Italian unofficial symbol of the night is obviously an inflatable pizza. As we see the half beard there for Tamberi. He has the half on his takeoff side as well. Do you think that's significant?
Ooh,
he has the bare half of the cheek for a bit of aerodynamics or something.
There's still 2 competitors in at 2:31, of course. The bar will be raised to 2 meters 33 next.
So we confirm the results there of the women's 60 metres final. Svoboda 7.10, Skippers 7.19 with her season opener fresh back from South Africa, and Rebecca Haase and Jamila Samuel filling the points positions. And that is how the World Indoor Tour standings then after 2 meetings. Remember, as we said, the women's 60 has all 6 meetings in a scoring system. Michelle Liai, the winner in Boston last week, has the 10, and Svoboda draws alongside her. So, the gentleman in the white there, Thomas Schönleber, seen here anchoring the German team to victory in Seville at the World Championships in 1991, the World Indoor Championships. 45.05 is his European record. He also holds the meeting record here at 46.11. One or two feelings that a couple of the athletes here could trouble this. There are 2 finals in the men's 400 metres, so far from being heats, we have final 1 and then final 2. Some of the stronger athletes will go in final 2. So in lane 2, we see the German athlete Mark Koch, who had a very badly injury hit 2018. Again, looking to make his mark coming back at this early part of the year, looking to string together a solid season on the comeback trail, capable of 46.4. Ricardo dos Santos, the 9 times national champion of Portugal, is actually London-based these days. 47.14 runner at his best. Germany's Patrick Schneider, a European Championship representative. His season opener, he'll go in lane 4 with the backing of the home support. The African relay silver medalist from 2018. Another one on the rise with some good form. Peter Conradi from South Africa. Another rising star on the outside, Robert Parga of Romania, the 21-year-old Balkan champion from last year. So 5 athletes. It is a scoring event. The times from the 2 finals are merged together, and the top 4 times will be the point-scoring events in this men's 400 metres. So away first time, 2 laps of the track, and again we see the usual scramble as they come round towards the bell when they'll break from their lanes. But a strong start from Conradi and the black for South Africa, 1 from the outside, and the outside lanes can often be a big advantage in these 400 metres. Now the chase is on to get to that break on the inside. Schneider just inside Conradi going well as they take the bell.
Yeah, and Peter here from South Africa, he won't be accustomed to running indoors. There's not many indoor tracks in South Africa, if any, but, you know, he's a strength-based athlete. You can see they're using their elbows here. It's a completely different event indoors. Former 800-metre athlete, and he needs that strength now. Well, it's Koch who managed to hold him off. Conradi now being challenged on the outside by Robert Parga, the Balkan champion. Koch now gritting his teeth. Here comes Parga of Romania down the outside, and between them as well, coming through towards the closing stages, Dos Santos, but in the end, gritting his teeth, Koch hung on. Dos Santos was finishing fast between the pair,
A thrilling end, 47.74, the winning time there. And we talk about the scramble for the inside. It was whoever had the broadest shoulders and the sharpest elbows there, wasn't it?
It was. 400 metres is a really difficult event, but, you know, put that on an indoor circuit with, like as you said, you know, you've got the tight bends. The outer lanes are normally the ones that are a little bit faster. The indoor lanes are very, very banked, and some of those turns indoors are really tight. But, yeah, we can see here, you know, a lot of grimacing all the way to the finish line. Lactic acid is really pumping through all those athletes' legs, and you know, 47.75 seconds just hanging on for the victory there is Koch.
I think if Dos Santos had actually had a better amount of running room, he actually was looking like he was finishing fast and would have got to Koch, given another 5 metres or so there, but he just had to slalom his way between the other athletes there. He got himself a bit boxed in on the home turn.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely does favour the 200-metre specialist. You know, if you can actually get out, you know, at the break, which of course you would never break in an outdoor 400-metre event. A lot of these athletes are used to having their own lane in the outdoor equivalent. So, yeah, you know, lots of tactics and strategy and not actually running the race the way you'd probably do it in an outdoor 400 metres.
Wang of China then, his compatriot from Asia, Naoto Tobey, failed first time at 2:33. Wang has already equalled the meeting record, the world lead and his lifetime indoor best. Can he improve again? 5 first-time clearances so far for the Asian champion. Got close on that occasion, so the first blemish on his scorecard. He'll come back for 2 more attempts. Of course, Thomas and Tamberi both went out of the previous height, so there are only 2 athletes left. At the moment, Tobey and Wang are dead level on count back as well in terms of failures at previous heights, so they are hard to separate at the moment. We're picking up the long jump now. Live with Tobias Nilson Mangla, who's currently in second position with his second round jump, rather, at 8 metres 08, which is a new lifetime best for him. He's second at the moment, only on count back to Echeverria, who's also produced 8.08. Penultimate round. Oh, I tell you what, that's going to be better, I think. There's a white flag, very importantly, for Nilson Mangla. So 8.08, that's going to be very close, Jenny, to what he produced in round 2. Yeah,
he was bang on the board there. I think he's actually got his mark really right. And, yeah, we're just waiting to see what his jump comes up at.
Oh, it's coming at 8.04 for Nilson Mangla, so just shy. So 4 centimetres short of what he produced previously. He's got 1 more round. That's assuming Echeverria doesn't improve in round 5. But Tobias Nilson Mangla will be a confidence-boosting victory for him. He actually set his new PB prior to tonight, indoors in Malmo last week. So again, he's progressed even further in the space of a fortnight.
Yeah, he's having a great cup fortnight, isn't he? You know, over 8 metres 3 times.
So we go back to Echeverria. A foul in round 4, which followed a pass in round 3. 8.08, his current mark. Better on the ball. Oh, no, I thought he was better on the ball that time. He gets a red flag again because that would have been an improvement in distance. It's a red flag, and he's actually slipped back into second now because Nilson Mangla's second best jump is better than Echeverria's.
And I'm just looking actually there at his coach. That was a big jump. That was in about the region of 8 metres 40. You know, he is a big jump performer. Last year in Stockholm, you know, he produced 8 metres 83. You were allowed 2 metres wind speed outdoors. It was 2.1, you know, fraction over. But yeah, what a great competitor.
Well, if you include that third all-time list, as we see in the high jump, Tobey has gone over at 2 metres 33. So that is yet another lifetime best. That is now an outright meeting record. It's now an outright world lead. Personal best, national record. Tobey, 2:33.
He had a bit of room, didn't he?
So Wang has got to find a response now. The Chinese athlete. We are live with Wang of China, who's currently absolutely miles back down the arena at the moment. He's got an extremely long run-up as Wang. Oh, he's grazed it. He's not far away. He has got 1 more attempt at 2:33. But Tobey, well, he's got to be delighted with his performance so far. 2:33. He's carving up those record books. The previous record, by the way, stood for the best part of 13 years, Japanese-wide. He's added 5 centimetres to that, as we see a few powerful names on the start list of the second final of the 400 meters for men. Out of lane 2, the Olympic silver medalist from London 2012, Miguel Santos of the Dominican Republic. .45.8 lifetime best indoors. A highly rated German athlete who's already set a new lifetime best this year in Dortmund, Johannes Trance. Karol Zalewski, who was part of the Polish team that won the gold medal in the World Indoor Championships in Birmingham. He ran the first leg as they overhauled the Americans. Twice a European under-23 champion. And on the outside, one of the all-time greats, one from the outside, Pavel Maslak, who's won every single major indoor title since he first competed here in Karlsruhe in 2011. And in lane 6, Oscar Husillos, the national record holder of Spain, who was actually first across the line in the World Indoor Championships but got disqualified. The championships they had quite a few. So Husillos from the outside in the orange. Maslak, though, 47.1, his season's best, is well short of his lifetime best, but he, at this distance, in these conditions, still is the one to beat. Santos on the inside, Trance of Germany, Zalewski, Husillos right on the outside in the orange. Maslak with those trademark sleeves. 2 laps of the track, the second of the men's 400 meters finals. So away they go first time. We saw a bit of bumping and barging in the last race, as you'd expect. Pavel Maslak will be used to having the outside lane 6. He's got to do it from lane 5 here, and Zalewski of Poland is already right up on his inside and will use the stagger to probably take the lead.
Yeah, like I said in the earlier round, you know, the first 200 metres is really, really important. And Maslak is normally used to getting to the bell first, but not on this occasion.
So he's got work to do in the second half of the race here. It's Zalewski from Maslak, Santos going well in third. Husillos had a very steady first 200 metres from the outside, didn't really utilise lane 6 particularly well. As they come round to the top turn now, Zalewski still with Maslak challenging now, comes strong in the second half of the race. Maslak now needs to get those trademark sleeves working, the tall figure of Zalewski. Here comes Maslak, Husillos finishing fast as well, but Maslak is away and gone. Maslak takes it 46.78. Husillos probably just about on the line, got up ahead of Zalewski for second and third respectively.
Yeah, maybe not the characteristic fast times that we're used to seeing from those two first competitors there. You know, not quite as fast at 200 metres, but, you know, he's a hard person to beat indoors. Maslak, you know, 3 times world indoor champion, 3 times European indoor champion. But, you know, he just came through at the end to take it. You know, season's best, a little bit faster than what he ran just last week.
Good performance from Maslak. What did you make of Husillos' performance from lane 6?
Yeah, I mean, he had the favoured lane, you would think, but just really looked short of a little bit of speed. Plenty of strength, though, down the final straight, but just looked like he's short of a little bit of speed work. Maybe he's got plans to do the European indoors. Maybe he's not going over the shorter distances during the indoor season or not.
Again, if that was 500 metres, Husillos was looking well placed to come through, as we'll confirm the full result for you in a second, and the point scorers, because the two finals rather get merged together in terms of time. Now we'll pick up Wang then, who passed his final attempt at 2:33 with his opponent Tobias clear. He's got to get this. Oh, and he nearly did. He nearly did at 2:35, and his reaction tells you the story, and the crowd shaking their head as well.
Absolutely, I think all the crowd was disappointed. It looked like he'd done it, didn't it? You know, gosh, if he would have done his 2:35, that would have been incredible. But the height is obviously in those legs, and he can leave tonight feeling really proud of himself.
Good performance from Wang. 2:31 to equal his lifetime best, and apart from breaking it, of course, that's the next best thing if you can match your previous best performance. So Wang will move on from this. I'm sure will be the challenger outdoors when we get to the World Championships in Doha. What that does mean is that Tobias, with his clearance at 2 metres and 33, has won the competition and will take the 10 points. And he still has 2 more attempts at 2:35 to keep improving those marks. Not a bad position to be in, isn't it, when you've won the competition and you've got 2 free throws now, improving the PB.
Absolutely, you know, the pressure's off, and sometimes an athlete can just relax. He's asking the crowd for a little bit of support, encouragement, and, you know, his job's done here this evening, and this is just for personal satisfaction and personal gain now.
So here comes Tobe. Oh, I tell you, he's not far off that either. His personal best before today, don't forget, was 2:26. That was 9 centimetres higher.
That's absolutely unbelievable, actually, when you say like that, 9 centimetres, you know. He's, yeah, if someone would have told him he'd obviously get over 2:30, he would be really pleased. He would have took that, I'm sure. But, yeah, again, you know, a great attempt. The men's high jump is just on fire. It has been on fire for the last few seasons now, and these are 2 new competitors. We can add to those upper echelons. Yeah,
absolutely. There's a certain lad called Bashim, of course, who in his native Qatar will be looking to retain his world title. But Tobe has 1 more jump to go at 2:35 to come. 1 more attempt left. Here's the result of the final 2 in the men's 400 metres. Confirmation of Mangla 46.78. Husios did get up on the line for second ahead of Zalewski. So we're back live. No hanging around for Tobe. Often you see the jumpers between jumps, taking as much time as they need on the jump clock, which has still got 2.5 minutes showing on it, but no messing around for Naoto Tobe of Japan. The winner, the world leader, the new meeting record holder. Final attempt, 2:35. Yes! Oh, yes! Incredible performance from the Japanese athlete. Naoto Tobe, an emerging name in the high jump.
Wow, he's just having the evening of his life, isn't he? 3rd attempt, 2:35. Will he raise the bar? Do you carry on?
Oh, he's got to, hasn't he? He's got to carry on. 2:37 will be the next progression as we look back at this. The jump to nothing, and again, apart from a little graze of the shorts, he doesn't give him that much of a touch at all, is he?
Absolutely not. He's well over that. I'll tell you what, if that was 2:37, he would have been over it. And on our little recording system here, we have little grey boxes. He's got so many boxes. He's got a meet record, world lead, PB and a national record. Not a bad evening.
Yeah, the little box on the computer for notable landmarks. Now then, this is an interesting situation in the long jump. Juan Miguel Echeverria doesn't get beaten too often. The athletes were reordered after round 5, which is a new initiative in the IAAF competitions going forward in the indoor tour. So this is Echeverria's final attempt. He's got to improve on 8 metres and 4, which is Nilson Mottler's second best jump, because the 2 are tied on 8.08. So you need to be seeing a white flag and him going considerably over 8 metres. The world champion, has he got a response here in Karlsruhe? He's well short of the board. That is for sure. It's a white flag. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough looking with the naked eye, Jenny.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from here, isn't it? I mean, you know, we can just see how raw a talent he is. He's got a really long run-up, actually, isn't he? He must be shattered doing 6 runs of that distance before he even jumps. Yeah, he's having a rest. There we go.
7.91. It's not enough for Juan Miguel Echeverria, who, as we said, started his year last year in Karlsruhe. He kicks it off this year with a second-place finish. So a great scout for Nilson Mottler. More on that in a second as we go back to the high jump. Up goes the bar again, 2:37. 3 more attempts available for Tobe of Japan. And they'll need at least 1 more of them to continue that amazing progression. He's added 9 centimetres to his personal best.
If I could give him 1 tip now, it would take 3 minutes rest.
Yeah. I mean, he really rattled through the last couple of attempts. He's got 3 minutes on that jump clock. Echeverria sees himself on the big screen. This is our winner then in the long jump. Let's not take away from the performance of Tobias Nilson Mottler, the Swedish athlete, with a consistent series there, the jumps that he's got legally anyway. 8.08 and 8.04. Jump of honour for the Swede. And he ends with a red flag, unfortunately, but what a victory for Tobias Nilson Mottler. Lifetime best last week, the European under-23 bronze medalist, but beating the world indoor champion. That is a cracking start to the year for him. Absolutely,
and we can see his coach there. I don't think they would have thought, you know, he'd have took the victory here this evening, but, you know, you do what you can. If someone's not jumping to their potential, you've just got to take advantage, and, you know, getting over 8 metres consistently is a great sign for him.
Well, a bit of a resigned look on the face of Echeverria, who's a headline name coming into this competition, and great for the organisers of the meeting here in Karlsruhe to have him. Confirmation of the results on the point scoring then. 10 points for Mangla of Sweden. Echeverria has 7, finishing second, and Tobias and Howard pick up 5 and 3 respectively. As we see the overall standings, this is the first of the long jump series in the World Indoor Tour. So Nilson Mangla straight to the top of the leaderboard. Of course, we think of emerging rivals, the likes of Luva Manyonga of South Africa, who Echeverria edged out last year. But this is another of the men at the moment. Tobias Nilson Mangla emerging in the long jump, but this gent in the high jump. Neoto Tobe. 2 more available at 2:37. He's still got 2 minutes on his jump clock, by the way, Jed. He's not followed your advice. Has he got somewhere to be? Has he got a train to catch or something? He's certainly got a smile on his face. He wants the crowd in rhythm. Well worth the journey, that is for sure, from Japan to here. And, of course, a big year coming up for his country next year when they stage the Olympic Games. Tobe, second time round. Oh, come on. So close. Come on.
So close. And he knows it. Look at him. I mean, I wonder whether he knew he was in that sort of shape before he came. I mean, you know, to be attempting bars 10 centimetres better than your personal best, there must have been something that's gone on incredibly well this winter.
Well, he certainly has been a name. We were talking before about Zibilko and Tamberi and Wang, obviously, as well, who's a proven performer. Tobe, if we trace back his history, a couple of times the national champion of Japan. He was a world junior bronze medalist, but way back in 2010, so a major medal, but many, many years ago. We look at his progressions over the last couple of years. He produced 2:26 last year, 2:26 the year before, missed the whole of 2016. So, yep, certainly 2019 will already be the kind of memories that he will take. He's pointing to his coach in the crowd, or is he pointing to one of the officials to not to move the bar up, I don't think. Anyway, as we see the great lot from Brysac, the local club. I said local earlier on. They're not that local. They're about 40k away, but that's local enough for us here in Karlsruhe. We're very close to the French border, by the way. We're right in the southwest corner of Germany, just a few miles from the River Rhine and from the border as well. You say we end the IAAF World Indoor Tour Series back here in Dusseldorf as well. We move on to Toruń in Poland on Wednesday night. Myself and Jenny Meadows, who's been alongside me here, the world and European medalist over 800 metres. We're going to be into your speciality in a second, Jen. A bit longer for you, though, 3,000 metres. The women's 3K on the track is coming up shortly. But before that, Tobe, the third and final attempt. Now, bearing in mind how close that second attempt was. Final attempt. Oh, it's almost as close again. It's almost as close again, but he's our champion here. 10 points for Japan's Naoto Tobe, and the crowd are loving that performance.
They are. He's just had a magnificent evening, a dream evening. And I loved it how you've explained, you know, all his statistics. You know, I think that's a great message to any young athlete watching this. You know, don't write yourself off. Sometimes it's just about the journey, and keep persevering. If things don't go right for you, you keep working hard. Maybe you'll come into fruition eventually. So, yeah, obviously 9 years since he won a World Junior medal, and doesn't matter when you do it, as long as you do. That's
right. Yeah, he was on the Diamond League circuit last year in Monaco and Birmingham, a couple of fourth places, including that lifetime best last year as well. He's just done a little forward roll as well, with the help of Gianmarco Tamberi, just out the corner of our eye here in the arena, as we confirm the full standings. Tobe taking some good scouts. Donald Thomas of Bahamas, the experienced former world champion as well, finishing in third position, for which he'll get 7 points. What is happening here? Oh, this is a... oh, goodness.
Yeah, so when you said he did a somersault, well, he actually didn't. Well, how cool is that from Tamberi, you know, in his stripy socks? Very uncharacteristic of a professional athlete there. I love it. He's got his basketball shorts on, his stripy socks, you know, obviously clearly enjoying this evening.
So back on the track we go for the women's 3,000 metres. Picking out some of the names on that list for you. Right at the bottom there, Alina Ray, one of the up-and-coming German talents. Gebra Salama of Ethiopia, the world under-20 bronze medalist. Esther Guerrero will set the pace. And there'll be plenty of home support behind Gitta Krause as well. So Gitta Felicitas Krause, a steeplechaser who's sharpening up on the flat here, over 3,000 metres. She again will have plenty of local support. She's targeting the European indoors in Glasgow, looking to get herself on the team for that. We'll tell you more about qualifying standards and things set by respective nations. That's the World Indoor bronze medalist from 2016 in Portland from Ethiopia, Gudaf Tsigai. And again, one of the home favourites, fourth in the European Championships, 10,000 metres in Berlin. In good form, though, Alina Ray. She's just 21 years of age, so again, looking to, I guess, be the next Krause, if you like. I said the next Krause. Krause is only 26 herself. I'm not writing her off just yet, but she's 5 years behind, so hopefully a few more years of top-level German distance running. But as we see, Asomavit Mbayi, the second of the Ethiopian athletes that we're going to be introduced to, the Sopot World Indoor silver medalist from 2014. So again, this is a scoring event. Among others to look out for, we mentioned Melissa Courtney of Great Britain, the Commonwealth bronze medalist. Alama Samuel of Ethiopia as well, the world under-20 champion from last summer in Tampere in Finland. She's the one in the dark blue and green, right in the centre there of the inside pack. Away they go on their 15 laps of the track. Again, that fastest time in the world this year of 8:52 is going to be of huge relevance at this stage of the campaign. And it's Guerrero, the pacemaker. Tell us her details, Jen, in terms of what she's aiming to get through here.
Yeah, so Guerrero's an 800-metre runner normally by trade, so I was quite surprised when I saw her on the start list, but no, she is our designated pacemaker. She's going to take us 6 or 7 laps, so they're trying to run around about 34.5 seconds, very precisely 34.5 seconds, 69 seconds at 400 metres, around about 2:18 at 800 metres, and if she can get them to 1,200 metres in around about 3:27. So if I project forward, that is very well under some of the times that these girls will be trying to achieve their national standard for the European indoors. So hopefully if some of the girls can just get on the back of that, they can bag themselves a qualifying time for that European indoors really early season.
Well, I guess Krause at the moment settled in about 8th position on the inside in the black singlet. Maureen Koster of the Netherlands, who actually quite recently competed in the European Cross-Country Championships in a native Tilburg. So she's gone from the mud in December to the much more serene surroundings of the boards indoors. Yeah,
I'm sure she'll be delighted with that. You know, these girls in the 3,000 metres come from lots of different spectrums. You can come from the 1,500 metre spectrum, obviously the 5K, you can come from the steeplechase. So, yeah, cross-country specialists, some people will be targeting the indoors. And, you know, you talked about the cross-country conditions. I saw a picture of Alina Ray recently, actually, with a show shovel, actually trying to shovel snow away from the track so she could get a session in. So, yeah, this race is doing really well. They're really strung out there. Guevara's doing a great job there at 600 metres, taking them through in around about 1:43, 1:44, which was bang on the pace they asked for.
Melissa Courtney of Great Britain as well, who actually finished 8th in the European Cross-Country Championships in Tilburg as well. The Commonwealth bronze medalist over 1,500 metres, representing Wales, who hails from the Poole Athletic Club on the south coast of England. She's another one who swapped the mud for the indoor boards. We talk about the season, Jen, we talk about athletes peaking at this time, you know, particularly if you're coming from the cross-country, then to indoors again, and you're trying to peak for the outdoors. I mean, it's tough changes of conditions there at this stage of the year.
It absolutely is. I think sometimes, you know, just having the indoor preparation can just give you a little bit of a focus and, you know, again, a benchmark, especially in a season like this when the World Championships are end of September, beginning of October. Just give you a chance to actually, you know, get rid of your hat and your gloves and all those layers and just test yourself. Yeah,
there's been a bit of dodgy weather knocking around across Northern Europe over the course of the last couple of days. There's a lot of people who've had to reach for their hats and gloves, but luckily dispensed under the spectator seats indoors here at the Mezzahalle in Karlsruhe, our final track event from the women's point of view in the scoring tour of this second stop on the IAAF World Indoor Tour. So still the pacemaker Esther Guerrero, who has now Alames Samuel, the World Under-20 champion, has moved into second position. The purple vest of Aksumabit Mbayi in fifth position at the moment. In fact, she just dropped back a couple of places. Segai on the inside of Gebra Salama. Melissa Courtney starting to make some progress through from the second half of the field. And the two Germans, Krause and Ray, in the middle of the pack there, along with Maureen Costa.
Yeah, I mean, if we can actually look at Guerrero, who's pacing at the front, you know, she's doing an incredible job, and she's right on the schedule, and that takes them around about 8 minutes 37 projected finish. Now, I know the British Athletics standard Melissa Courtney will be trying to get is 9 minutes. The German standard is 9:05, so those girls are well within that standard.
So still Samuel leads the chasing pack, although she's being challenged on the outside now by Segai, who moves into second place overall from Samuel and Gebra Salama, and now Melissa Courtney of Great Britain moves up into fifth overall. Also Maureen Costa, who just dropped back a couple of places. Jessa Krause has just dropped off the back of the main pack. She's about 5 metres behind at the moment off the back of that main pack, the steeplechaser, so she's just finding this pace a little bit hot to handle. Yeah,
I was talking to her this morning at breakfast actually, and she said she's not sure whether she wants to go for the 1500 metres or the 3000 metres at the European Indoor Championships. She actually says that she finds it really tough to run a flat race. She's a steeplechaser, so she's used to having 28 barriers and, you know, barriers with water jumps at the end of them as well. So, yeah, she is finding it a little bit tough here, but the front pack are well away.
They certainly are at the moment. I mentioned for Alina Ray, the German athlete, I mentioned she's been in good form. She set her 1500 metres personal best in Dortmund last weekend as the pacemaker Guerrero steps off with 7 laps remaining. So into the second half of the race, and it is now Segai who leads. Just a bit of bumping and barging there between Samuel and Ray on the inside. Courtney of Great Britain, Costa of the Netherlands, Gebra Salama also the next to the Ethiopians, the World Under-20 bronze medalist behind her compatriot Samuel. Alina Ray just getting herself into a bit of traffic again on the inside there.
Yeah, it's dangerous at this stage of the race when all the girls are trying to fight for the same space. You know, there's still a significant number of girls, 8 girls in that lead pack, and they all just want the same distance. They don't want to really be running round the bends at this stage, but as Alina Ray just decides to hit the front there, maybe that's an indication that the pace has just dropped a little bit. Yeah, 40 seconds, so it's really slow this second half. She just wants the race to get sped up, a true run race, and to really get them under that 9-minute barrier.
So a roar from the crowd in the Mezzahalle here in Karlsruhe as Germany's Alina Ray takes the lead from Segai. Melissa Courtney using the running room up the inside to sneak up on Samuel there. There's then probably a gap of 30 or 40 metres back to the chasing group of 4, which still has Geza Krause at the front of it, but these 8 are away at the moment. Couple from Ethiopia right to the 4, but sandwiched at the moment by 2 of the Europeans, Ray and Courtney, as they go through 2,000 metres in 5:54.
Yeah, so obviously sub 6 minutes, you know, 3 minutes for every K would take them under that 9 minutes, but that K has slipped from the first one. But yeah, Alina Ray is just really making sure this is an honest race now. I think we'll see that this third 1K will be the second fastest of the race.
So Ray is winding it up now, and it is starting to get strung out, and already 1 or 2 athletes starting to feel the pinch at the back of that pack. They'll come around this time and they'll see 4 laps remaining. So these 4 now, Ray from Segai, from Samuel, from Melissa Courtney, have just got a metre or 2 up on Gebra Salama. Maureen Costa is still involved there. Also still on the back of that pack is the athlete from Ethiopia, Aksumabit Mbayi. And still not quite out of it, right at the back of that field in 7th position currently, Mbayi. And I mentioned for Hannah Klein too, another of the up-and-coming German talents, the London 17 finalist as well. But all of a sudden now there's 1 or 2 starting to make a few moves, but they've got to get past Alina Ray.
Absolutely, the front 4 are really moving away now. You know, the race is on, the time is on, and as Maureen Costa just comes back into the fold, really great athlete from the Netherlands there, sometimes overlooked a little bit from Sifan Hassan, of course, who goes through the same distances as her 1500 metres and 5000 metres. Maureen Costa is a sub-4-minute 1500-metre performer. She did that a number of years ago in Monaco, so she's got herself right on the back of that pack there.
We talk about versatility. Maureen Costa from the cross-country to the indoors. Last year she competed in distances from 1500 metres up to 15 kilometres on the road, so she has got the full spectrum covered, and she's at the back of that leading group of 5 at the moment. So 3 from Europe currently, and the 2 East Africans, Segai and Samuel, in the middle.
Yeah, they've brought that time back to 35 seconds from 40 seconds over 200 metres. So this is really where the sting goes. This is where the burn goes. And really respectable time. This is going to be well under 9 minutes.
So Alina Ray at the moment has held off the challenges of the Ethiopian athletes behind her. Sigai, now Alamos Samuel, the world champion under 20 level from Tampere, the 19-year-old, looks like she's moved out to make her move now. Samuel then comes past Ray. Melissa Courtney, as they take the bell, try to track her. A bit of bumping and barging between Courtney and Sigai, but Melissa Courtney of Great Britain has got herself into a terrific position on Samuel's shoulder.
Yeah, Melissa Courtney's having the race of her life, and she just strikes with a back straight there. Don't think she would have believed that she could run away from some of these athletes in the manner that she is.
While Melissa Courtney has bided her time, and she now is chasing away. The challenge of Samuel still hasn't quite gone away. Melissa Courtney looks up at the big screen, and the gap continues to open. And Great Britain's Melissa Courtney takes it ahead of Samuel. The winning time, 8:43.36. In the end, Sigai hangs on for third. Alina Ray, a brave run in fourth, and Maureen Costa comes home fifth. Yeah,
Alina Ray really took the pace on, allowed those girls to get some great times. But Melissa Courtney, you know, she smashed her personal best there by some 12 seconds.
Wow. I mean, she was on the, as we say, she was on the cross country, the best part of, 6 weeks ago or something, and here she is taking chunks off her personal best at 3,000 metres. She was thinking about the GB standard for the European indoors. She's about 17 seconds inside that as well.
Yeah, she doesn't need to worry about that now after this evening. And what a strange race, really. You know, the first K was pretty quick, then pedestrian, then middle K, and you know, to bring it back, it shows the strength and depth, like you say. She was finished really well in the cross-country season, and I think that strength and depth really showed.
Well, as we see the last lap here, Melissa Courtney, she just got a bit of a bump and a barge from Sigai, but actually, if anything, it possibly propelled her forward a little bit as she sort of bounced off the Ethiopian there, and it sent her charging around the last 200.
Absolutely. You know, she did amazing last year to get a medal at the Commonwealth Games over the 1,500 metre distance, and here she is just digging in deep. And, yeah, one of the best performances of this young lady's career.
So Melissa Courtney, who's broken through onto the international stage relatively recently, say in the last couple of years or so. The good news, by the way, we're worried about flowers running out. Melissa Courtney has got some flowers just to celebrate her lap of honour. As we see, and just a little bit of a smile there, breaking into a massive grin when she sees that time. She'll obviously have come in knowing she was in good shape. As we see, there are the flowers, and there is Melissa Courtney. Spotted a couple of people she knows in the crowd, I think, as well, going around the back straight.
Yeah, this is a lovely moment for her. The German athletes as well, just a little bit behind her. They're doing a victory lap as well to thank the crowd. The crowd have been absolutely fantastic here this evening. They've really got behind everybody. So
Melissa Courtney sets the new benchmark for others to beat. World lead, 8:43.36. Samuel, and then a personal best for Sigai. And Krause there, not her day, 9:03, coming home 11th, the last of the finishers. Confirmation then of the points standings from Boston. Ironically, we're here in Germany today, and it was a German who took the points in Boston last week, Constance Klosterhalven, with the 10 points. Melissa Courtney, Jenny Simpson, still doing it, 7 points for her. That is how the standings look after 2 of the 6 events. You mentioned the crowd, Jen. They have been absolutely fantastic here. For those of us who weren't with us at the start of this live coverage on the IAAF YouTube channel from here in Karlsruhe, we had a number of schools events before the main action got underway, if you like, and the athletes were reacting, the crowd were reacting pretty much the same to those, I guess, under 15 athletes who are having the time of their life competing in this sort of arena. Yeah,
it's great to see. The crowd, you know, have been really enthusiastic. Sellout crowd, you know, well before Christmas, 5,000 Peters into this packed arena.
So Melissa Courtney taking the thanks of some of the officials taking part here as well. Certainly worth the journey for Melissa Courtney across. Not so many British athletes taking part today, just a couple with Andrew Asagi and Melissa Courtney as well, but a big target for British athletes, of course, with the European Indoor Championships on home soil. So it's been a fantastic evening here, the second stop of the IAAF World Indoor Tour here in Karlsruhe. The women's pole vault, Katerina Stephanie Lee was one of the co-winners, along with Alicia Newman, the Commonwealth gold medalist, and Angelika Sidorova. Those three all sharing the victory in the end at 4.71 meters. Anna Pelotero with her winning jump of 14.51, upsetting the world champion Yulima Rojas. 60-meter hurdles for women under Dean Visser went through very strongly in 7.97, a sub-8 second run. Just taking advantage of a stumble towards the end there by Herska, the Finnish athlete, with home favourite Cindy Rolleder finishing second. The men's high jump was fascinating, and it went to Tobias of Japan, who improved his personal best by 9 centimetres and also improved a record that has stood for 25 years, the meeting record here at the indoor meeting in Karlsruhe. The women's 60 metres, well, there were 10 points on offer, and it went to Poland's Iwa Swoboda, who set a world-leading time of 7:08 in the heats and saw off Daphne Skippers to take the final as well, the rising Polish star. The men's long jump was an upset. Tobias Nilson Mangla toppling the world indoor champion Juan Miguel Echeverria on countback, as both registered their best marks of 8 metres and 8 centimetres. Men's 800 metres, there was a front-running performance from Andreas Kramer, who sat on the tail of the pacemaker and managed to hold off all challengers, the Swedish athlete taking victory in that non-scoring event this evening. The men's 1500 metres, well, it was a Kenyan battle between Bethwell Bergen and Vincent Kibet down the home straight. Bergen, the winner last week in Boston, but had to settle for second this time behind his compatriot Kibet. The men's 400 metres, well, Pavel Maslak has dominated this. He had to work hard for this, though, coming past Zalewski in the closing stages. Oscar Husios left himself too much to do after a poor first 200. Maslak still the dominant force over the 2 laps. And finally, we saw a fantastic performance from Great Britain's Melissa Courtney to hold off the East African Challenge, smash her personal best, and registering 8:43 to win our final tour track event in the women's 3,000 metres. So we have 3 athletes taking part in our final event of the evening, and great to see some para racing indoors as well. We're going to see the men's 800 metres over 4 laps of the track. 2 home athletes, Tristan Adiemus and David Scherer. As we see Alex Adelaide, who will contest from lane 1. Not often wheelchair racing indoors, the T54 classification, which is for athletes with some muscle power in the arms and trunk. Tristan Adiemus of Germany. And finally, David Scherer of Germany will go from lane 3. So fascinating to see how they handle these the tight turns, because the indoor track is troubling enough for athletes. Gen 4, I guess, the tight turns and things, but we'll see how these athletes progress. They will run the first, or rather will the first bend in lanes, and they'll break as they do in the 800 metres for able-bodied competitors and the cones at the back straight. So Adelaide, Adiemus and Scherer, T54 classification. Same classification, of course, as we see some of the greats of wheelchair racing, the likes of David Weir and Marcel Hoog and Manuela Scher and Tatiana McFadden, as we stand by for our final event. This, of course, event not part of the IAAF World Indoor Tour, but fantastic to have it as an exhibition event here. To wait for the start of this event, don't forget the IAAF social media channels at IAAF. Lots of behind-the-scenes access, interviews with athletes as well. Don't forget, we're going to be back with you in Toruń in Poland on Wednesday as we set for the start. Away to go on 4 laps of the track, and Alex Adelaide, the French athlete, on the inside already coming through. We'll wait to see how the break from lanes works out as they come through the first bend. A big year for para-athletes, who again are going to have to peak a long season as well. For them, they have a very good Grand Prix series outdoors these days to the para-athletes, which is getting underway in Dubai in late February, and of course it'll all end up in Dubai because that is where the World Para Championships are this year in November as well, Jen. So we talk about athletes from the World Championships in Doha having to peak for September, October. The para athletes have got to peak in November. Oh my goodness, that's even harder to negotiate. But here we are watching the men's wheelchair event. I mean, you know, as a runner, it's hard enough to negotiate the bends, but having to actually do it, you know, with 3 competitors on these bends in wheelchairs, it's fascinating to actually watch what the tactics are. Well, it's Alex Adelaide at the moment from Tristan Adiemus and David Scherer. The lane order was 1, 2, 3, and that is the order they find themselves in at the moment as they come round towards the halfway stage. Of course, often in the T54 classifications, you see athletes racing in slipstreams, as we see at the moment, and you see them almost come into formation as they come around the final bend. But of course, on an outdoor track, or maybe in the roads, if you like, there's a lot more room to come out wide and make your strike.
Absolutely. You know, these bends are quite tight, and the straights are not very long either. So trying to negotiate your way around this 200-metre circuit is completely different to the 400-metre oval.
And of course, athletes who take the opportunity at the front sometimes. I think this is the tactic indoors where you probably want to get yourself to the front as soon as you can. But all of a sudden, Tristan Adiemus now, as they're going to come up and take the bell, has moved himself out into lane 2. He's going to have to go wider here, and with this tight turn, this could be interesting as he tries to make up those few metres. And you can already see that Alex Adelaide is benefiting from having that inside lane. Often in track events, the outside is an advantage, but all of a sudden, the power from Tristan Adiemus down the back straight has got him into the pole position. They'll come round into the home straight, and Adiemus moving away. Adelaide looks like his effort is all done. Sheraton in third, but a well-timed strike from Tristan Adiemus, and it's a win for Germany ahead of France and Germany. 1-2-3. Adiemus from Adelaide from Sheraton, 2 minutes 3:09.
And it was a strike, wasn't it? It was significant. It was just at the right time, just before coming up to the bell, and he negotiated that bend really, really well. Really put the afterburners on down the back straight, and a great victory. The crowd really got behind that one as well.
Yeah, most of the crowd have stayed, absolutely, for sure. And they have certainly loved what they've seen. I'm sure a lot of these athletes will, or the crowd rather, will be happy to come back and visit the IAAF World Indoor Tour when it arrives in Dusseldorf for the closing event of the tour. As we see the last lap again, and that strike you talked about, Jen, there, he moved out, and this is where he went.
Yeah, it was significant, wasn't it? And, you know, being an athlete who's had the lead the whole time, that's not where you want someone to come up to your shoulder and, you know, really take the victory. But, yeah, it was time to perfection, and, you know, 2:03 for the final time. Really, really encouraging.
So good performance from Tristan Adiemus, and a great experience as well in terms of wheelchair racing. I'm not sure some of the multiple major gold medalists down the years will have competed indoors too many times, I wouldn't have thought. So an excellent addition to the CV, if you like. And you can see just there how many people have stayed. There is going to be a presentation as we see confirmation of those race times in the men's 800 wheelchair. There's a presentation being made.
And we got all the way to the end of the night with the bouquets.
There are, but
you didn't need to worry. You were stressing earlier.
For those that weren't with us earlier on, there was, with a three-way tie in the pole vault, there were 3 bouquets. All of a sudden, we wondered whether there might be a shortage of bouquets. But of course, people have thought of that. They've thought of all of these things, absolutely. This is a fantastic historical meeting, this one. It goes right back to 1985. They've attracted some great fields here down the years. The likes of Gebre Selassie and Genzebe Dibaba have set world records here at this meeting as well down the years. We've seen a fair sprinkling of world-leading marks at this early stage of 2019 as well this evening. A couple of breakthrough performances as well, a couple of upsets. The IAAF World Indoor Tour is very much up and running as we move on. Later this week, we're live with you from Toruń in Poland, as we say, on Wednesday night. Then we go to Madrid a couple of days later, Birmingham, and then we are back live with you with coverage of the final in Dusseldorf, and we'll be crowning some of those bonuses, $20,000 for the title winners, plus the wild card to the 2020 World Indoor Championships in Nanjing in China. And $3,000, a nice little bit of evening's work as well for the event winners on the day today, as we get prepared for the presentation of our winners, some of the local athletes and volunteers, and maybe some of the athletes that took part earlier on. And there's the British lot again, if you like, who have been decked out in their red and white and flipping those blue letters around to make different names throughout the course of the evening. Once again, great support from local volunteers. The local community have really got behind this in Karlsruhe as well. Fantastic to see how many volunteers are involved, in a great moment for some of these youngsters in being able to escort some of our winners and provide that guard of honour now as they come out for their final celebration, those who've taken those titles this evening. Here was the pole vault massive, if you like, because there's 3 of them. In the middle, Sidorova. On the left, Newman. On the right, Stefanidi. It's a podium, but it's only the top podium. Alicia Newman's got a phone there, look. Just in case anyone needs to give her a call. She'll probably social media it, I'm sure. Are they coming on? What's happening? They are coming on. Here we go.
Yeah, that was a great contest, and Alicia Newman getting a national record as well to boot.
Anna Pelletero, the winner of the women's triple jump, again upsetting Rojas, the world champion, who just struggled early on with a couple of fouls. She was a late addition to the meeting, Rojas, and in the end had to settle for second place. This was the headline maker in the high jump, Kyoto Tobei of Japan.
Yeah, what an evening he had. World lead 2:35. Absolutely incredible.
In the long jump, it wasn't Echeverria this evening, it was Tobias Nilson of Sweden. 8 meters and 8. And again, a second successive personal best for him as he springs himself into his season. Oh, he left the mascot behind there. He's supposed to take her with him. He thought it was a high five. He really must get to run along and hold her hand.
Communication there.
Andreas Kramer of Sweden, who took the 800 meters and a lifetime best indoors of 1:46.52.
Yeah, that's significant for him ahead of the European Indoor Championships. I'm sure we'll see him in the final come Glasgow.
Yeah, showed some really good strength to win that. In the hurdles, it was Nadine Visser of the Netherlands. Again, likely to see her in the multi-events, the pentathlon indoors and the heptathlon outdoors. Oh, she's missed her completely. Come on, can we go back and do that again?
She didn't get the memo, did she?
And it had to be close up as well, didn't it? Vincent Kubert, the winner of the 1,500 metres in 3:38, holding off his teammate Bethel Bergen. And that looks like it's going to be a fiercely competitive event, that, with it being a part of all 6 of the tour stops. This was the winner of the women's 60 metres, Eva Svoboda. Exciting performance from her.
Yeah, she's still smiling, isn't she? She still can't believe what time she ran, and, you know, to take the victory over Daphne Schippers. It's been a great evening for the young Pole. Oh, and she's gratefully receiving the mascot's hand.
She knew what was going on, did Eva? Again, nice little moment for these athletes. They're all, by the way, forming onto the podium. We'll get a nice photo and shot, I'm sure, of the podium full of these winners as we see Pavel Maslak, who's absolutely no stranger to the upper echelons of the podium. In fact, he's been on every major podium, as you said earlier, Jenny, in the major indoor championships, European and world level. 6 major titles in a row. Every single title indoors he's won.
That's unbelievable, you know, to have that longevity. And, you know, he's still quite a young athlete as well. I think he's still only about 27 years of age.
And then she's had a quick change. She's gone off and dusted herself down, and she'll still have a warm down to come, I'm sure. But Melissa Courtney, a great performance to hold off the African challenge for Great Britain in winning the women's 3,000 metres. She probably doesn't run that fast, I wouldn't think, after 3K.
That mascot is really got some speed in her.
She's like, OK, settle down. I've just run a stinging 3,000 metres. Taking a huge chunk off her personal best as well. And here is the lineup of all the athletes with their respective trophies for their individual wins this evening. As we say, $3,000, a nice bit of bonus prize money as well, but for a lot of them, very important IAAF World Indoor Tour points as well. As we pan across it, a standout performer for you, Jen, the one that's probably caught your eye?
Oh, it's going to be the high jump. The whole contest was amazing. You know, 2:35 is world class. You'd expect that to win a medal at the World Indoor Championships. So to have that so early in the indoor season, and, you know, that young gentleman to improve 7 centimetres on his personal best is absolutely unbelievable.
We talk about these events at this stage of year because everybody is still finding their form and getting their season going, really. In terms of the upsets this evening, I mean, we would have expected Echeverria to win. We would have expected Katerina Stephanie Lee probably to be a bit more competitive in the pole vault as well. Rojas obviously got turned over in the triple jump. So actually quite a few that you might have written into your expected winners column actually have not won.
Absolutely. I think you could see on the faces of some of the athletes there, you know, as they were running onto the podium, that, you know, they're delighted to be in that position. They probably wouldn't have expected to be in that position to be on the winner's podium at the end of the evening. But that's the great thing about athletics. It's so unpredictable, you know. It's who can throw the furthest, run the fastest, and, you know, jump the highest or the furthest. So, yeah, really is just the fundamental skills of sport.
Of course, we should mention Daphne Schippers as well as one of those who people might have had down to win, even though 60 would not be her strongest distance, but she looks like she's certainly coming back to form as we see the congratulations for our wheelchair athletes as well. Tristan Adiemus, David Shearer and Alex Adelaide. The final photos then. Jenny Meadows, World and European Indoor medalist, thank you very much for your company. We'll be looking forward to having you back alongside us in Torun in Poland on Wednesday night, when we hope you will join us as well for the third leg of the IAAF World Indoor Tour. But from here in Karlsruhe in Germany, from myself, Chris Temple, and from Jenny Meadows, thanks for your company, and join us please on Wednesday night.